Hey, welcome back to 65 Drums. My name's Justin. You know, there's a ton of ways to customize your electronic drum set. Depending on the make and model, you can change out your drum wraps. There's a ton of cool designs and websites that cater towards this. You can change out the kind of mesh heads that you have to make the drum heads feel a little bit thinner or a little bit more thick. You can change out the kind of cymbals you're using. You can upgrade your module. But one area of customization not many people think about is changing the buttons or faders on their module itself. It never crossed my mind to change out the kinds of faders that I use on my TD30 until I got an email from a guy that goes under the name Tested Gear on eBay who custom 3D prints all these different color faders for the Roland TD8, 10, 12, 20, 30, 50, and 50X. Now, in general, I'm not a giant fan of 3D printing electronic drum stuff because I've had two triggers from two companies that have snapped in half on me. So that's put a sour taste in my mouth. But when it comes to like buttons and faders and volume controls, that makes a whole lot more sense because I feel like that's what 3D printing is really, really good at, making tiny little parts for niche situations in a cost-effective way. And the reviews seemed really promising.
After installing these new sliders, my pocket is deeper, my grooves are thicker, and my mixes are sweeter. Fred from Georgia.
So the question is, how close can you get with a 3D printed part like this to the original actual part that was made in a factory somewhere? I'd say they get about 90 to 95% of the way there. There are differences if you look close, but overall you could use these with the original Roland pieces side by side and no one would bat an eye unless they were looking really close. Like you could go black, red, black, or black, green, or you could just use all of the color that you ordered from the website. Now, what are the differences though if you do go looking with a magnifying glass? The first is that the Roland pieces are a little bit more shiny, not like, mirror shine, more like a Lego type finish to it. And the ones that are 3D printed, they have more of a matte finish. Some of them are a little bit more shiny because the guy sent me some that were 3D printed and buffed, and then others that were just printed and then sent to me. And there is a little bit of a difference there, but overall they have more of a matte finish to them. The next is that you will see little byproducts of the 3D printing process. I don't know what you call it, like lathing lines or printing lines, but you will see little patterns on these. They're not completely smooth. Also, they have a bit of a tighter fit on the drum module, at least the batch that I was sent. There were some cases where I had to use a set of pliers to remove them. For most people, they're gonna just put these on the module and then never remove them. It would also be cool to see like some slightly darker color variations because this orange and this red are very, very bright. It'd be cool to see like a burnt orange or a dark red. So taken as a whole, these are really cool. I'm glad that somebody is out here making these custom color configurations so you can spice up your module and make it look different from every other TD50 or every other TD20 that's out there. Also, it looks like Roland uses the same sort of fader configuration for not only their drums, but some of their keyboards as well, because the compatibility list is super long and I don't even recognize a bunch of the model numbers that he has on his eBay listing. Now, because my Roland TD30 is also missing a volume knob, I was asking him if he ever like custom 3D printed these. Maybe I could get like one in blue to replace the one that I lost after lending out my TD30 to somebody. Turns out he's still working on the design. It's not quite finished yet. And I think this is going to be a little bit tougher for him to emulate versus a fader, which is fairly simple. Because this isn't just plastic. It's like plastic, some shiny plastic on top, and then there's a thin rubber coating to make it easy to make precise volume adjustments. So it's going to be a little bit harder to emulate when you're trying to 3D print something, but I hope he gets there because it'd be cool to be able to customize that as well. So taken as a whole, I think it's great that somebody's out there making these custom parts. They're not quite as good as the OEM product because it's not made in the official factory, but they make your drum module stand out. They give you the ability to customize it, and I think that is a win, and they work pretty well. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end, and I'll see you in a few.